Shalom, call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shabbat Hashem Kal Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us his truth, and shalom and salutation to all the brothers. I push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shalom and salutation to all the Aquath listening and learning, being a pillar of rest. Okay, so I just saw this ridiculous interview, right? And this devil has layers, okay, of attack, all right? So before we go into that, see, because I just got, I got off the mall, I went down and I did the work, and I don't usually do a video, but I saw this and I'm like, I'm doing a video right now. So we're gonna start right here in 2 Kings 2:11. All right, now let's look at this. Elijah's taken to heaven. Huh? How does somebody take somebody to heaven? Well, the way you take somebody to heaven is to abduct them with a UFO. All right? Doesn't that sound crazy? Who would use this this language? He was abducted by a UFO, and it's some big old bad spooky thing. Who would use language like that? That's my question. The devil would demonize. Here it is. The literal way of explaining being saved, right? What does it mean to be saved, right? You got people in the Christian church talking about, I'm saved, I'm saved, I'm saved. All right, so if you ask the devil what it means to be saved, right? What is he going to do? He's going to flip it upside down. Because the devil, this Edomite, right, is against the Most High. All right? Starting with Amalek on down. They're against the Most High. So they're going to turn the glory of the Most High upside down. What does it mean to be saved? To the devil, he's going to turn being saved upside down. What does it mean? To be abducted by aliens. Now, what does it mean to be abducted by aliens? All right, now we got to go to Revelation. Okay, this is what it means to be abducted by aliens. The great voice from heaven are the aliens. Okay. Witnesses killed and raised, okay? And they, the witnesses, right? Or the elect, Revelation 11 and 12. They heard a great voice from heaven. What was a great voice saying to them before they abducted? What were the aliens saying before they abducted the elect of Israel? Okay, they say, come up hither. They let them know that they were coming. So it's not an abduction. That's what it's being described as. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. There's the abduction right there. And then it shows you a quick glimpse of the devil. And their enemies beheld them. There's the devil right there. Always there trying to take away the word. So, what is the devil? He understands this. See, there he is. He knows that this is coming. So what is his job? Is to make this demonic. This beautiful thing, what it means to be saved, right? The devil has to make it demonic. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud. Well, here's what he's saying. The aliens, right, came and abducted, ascended up to heaven in a cloud. The cloud is the spaceship. So the aliens, right, great voice from heaven sang unto them, abducted, they ascended up to heaven in a spaceship cloud. And there's the devil, and their enemies beheld them. Whose enemies? Whose enemies? They. They ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies were watching while they were being abducted by aliens. Shouldn't they be happy? No, they're not happy. Right? They're not happy at all. Let's find out exactly what their response. Let's find out exactly what their response was. Okay? Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, when they see what? When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at what? At the strangeness of the way he was just saved. What does salvation mean? Okay? What's that word salvation mean? It means this. This is what they're talking about right here. These guys are clearly being abducted by aliens. Are they not? Isn't that what this means? Here's the aliens in their spaceships, and these guys are being abducted, right? See how the devil done flipped it up? This is the most beautiful, sacred thing. Everybody wants to be saved, but nobody wants to be abducted by aliens. Well, guess what? It's the same thing. It's one and the same. It's just, okay, when they see it, who saw it? What does beheld mean? And their enemies saw the whole thing. They were sitting, where's the enemies at? See the enemy? Look at this guy. That's the enemy. That's the enemy. They ain't getting beamed up. Right? Ken and Karen didn't get beamed up. Okay? They're sitting there watching this. Okay? Hold on. Okay? When they see it, that's them. They're seeing it. And our enemies saw it. When they see it, how are they going to feel? They just got beamed up. They got abducted by aliens. They shall be troubled with terrible fear. Why are they troubled? Because they got abducted by aliens? Let's find out. And shall be amazed. Well, first of all, they're amazed at the strangeness of them being saved. That's what that word salvation means. So they knew. How did they know? Probably because the missiles were inbound. And these guys were being saved from the destruction that those missiles were coming. First of all, these chariots, they're doing hella damage too. Okay? So it's not just the missiles. Let's find out how they felt. When they see it, there they are. They shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness. Why is this strange? How come everybody doesn't know about this? Because somebody flipped it upside down and made it something bad. Who would do that? Maybe the target of these war machines. Who is the target of these war machines? Guess who? This is the target of those war machines. So what do you have to do in war? You ever heard of war and rumors of war? You gotta start making shit up. got to come up with a diabolical plan. We're gonna fake this. Before this goes down, we're gonna stage our own shit. Right? We're gonna stage our own shit. All right? I know I'm being long-winded, but I'm just amazed at what I just saw. Okay? Now let's find out how they felt. And they, who's they? Ken and Karen right there. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, you mean them niggers? Them niggers are God's people? Why are the niggers being saved right now? Amazed at the strangeness of what? Of their abduction or their salvation. See, they wasn't expecting it. So far beyond all that they looked for. They wasn't expecting this. And that's what they're going to say. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb, these niggers are God's chosen people? How was he numbered among the Gentiles? These are God's chosen? We fools accounted it. These niggers been out here killing each other and stealing and doing all manner of wickedness and smelling bad. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. I'd be glad when God wipes him off the face of the earth. Well, guess what? Guess who these niggers are? That's a whole, and the word nigger is a whole different lesson. We fool accounted his life to be without end. That's what this word nigger, right here. Really, that word is a beautiful word. Okay? Because it's in the Bible, tells you exactly what it is. We fools accounted his life madness and end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God and his lot among the saints? How is he God's people? Why are these niggers being saved right now? Right? Well, why'd you say nigger? Because there it is right there, cloaked. They use that beautiful word to attack us. That's how Esau does. He'll turn something beautiful, right, into something shameful. That word nigger means a Christian, according to the Bible. Therefore, we have erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness hath not shined upon us. And the Son of Righteousness rose not upon us. We wearied ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. Yea, we have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. What hath pride profited us? Or what good hath riches with our vaunting brought us? All those things are passed away like a shadow, right? They see the missiles come. And as a post that hasted by, these must be their quick thoughts, right? Anguish of spirit. Where is it? Shall say within themselves. They ain't saying this out loud. They're having an epiphany. That's what they're having, an epiphany, and they're seeing their lives flash before their eyes before those missiles hit. Okay? Now, remember how cunning and crafty this fucking devil is, right? Because what he's going to do, right? And when you look at this dude's arms, that's Esau all day. And this dude is slick. Let's get how slick he is real quick so that when you see this guy, you understand what's going on. Genesis 3. Genesis 3 and what is it? Up and 1. Now the serpent, right? This guy. We got to get an understanding of who this guy is before we let him talk. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made. Stop right there. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field that the Most High himself hadn't made. Now, that says a whole lot. Who made this beast? Here's what it said. The Most High made this devil, right? More cunning, more slick. Let's look at the words here. The Most High did this. So how could it go wrong? He was more crafty. He was the shrewdest of all the animals. More crafty, more subtle, more cunning. Crafty, cunning, subtle, craftier, sneaky. The snake, he was sneakier, subtle, clever. Clever. My kindergarten teacher used to say that. Clever. Very clever. He was more clever. That old shining one. Shining like Lucifer. Subtle, cunning, crafty, cunning, shrewd. He's shrewd. All right. Subtle, subtile. Subtile. That's not subtle. Subtle. Subtile. That's not Jake. Anyway. All right. Take it away, Snake. You see this dude's hairy arms, you're like, that's Esau right there. Now, what's going on here? The good guy, right? There's two sides of the UFO debate. They're the good guys and the bad guys, right? Well, the whole UFO debate, if you're not saying what it actually is, right? You're not saying what's going on here, that these are, we already gave them the name out of the Bible, okay? My father, the chariots of Israel. Did we go there? I think we got to do it. I might have went around it. Okay, before we play that, let us qualify the chariots of Israel. Where we at? 2 Kings. 2 Kings 2 and 11. All right, Elijah and Elisha. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind. See, this is the whirlwind right here. This thing, this tractor beam, that's the whirlwind. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Heaven is the sky, okay? So right here between the ship and right in there, this is the whirlwind. And heaven is what? The sky. They're going up into the sky before they get to that ship. Okay? So where it says heaven, right? Heaven is not the ship. Okay? Went up by a whirlwind into heaven, into the sky. Right? And Elisha saw it. And he cried, my father, my father. Then he gives the name of the chariots, of the spaceships, if you will. My father, the chariot of Israel, and the horsemen thereof. Okay. Who are the horsemen thereof? The angels. The chariots and the angels. Got it? Okay. Now, this has been going on in the Bible. See, if I'm switching back and forth, I spoke on this at camp today, so I can't remember if I brought out a scripture or not, because I did earlier today. So if I make a quick little mistake, I'll come back and I'll do a better job. How about that? Okay, so take it away, the snake. All right? Listen to the snake. Now, he's good cop, because what he's going to do is he's going to tell you some things. First of all, this is Vlad TV. Okay, why do they got this guy on here talking about UFO? When Vlad TV is about extracting truth from stupid niggas that want to talk. Now they got everybody's attention. They're talking. Who is Vlad TV talking to? Jake. Let's examine this for a second. This snake is on Vlad TV. Vlad ain't even on there no more. Now they're using this for what it really is. This platform. Anyway, 2 hours ago. This is today. All right. Dr. Stephen Greer on man-made UFOs being used for what? Huh? So, what are they using this for right now? They're letting you know, right? And they're doing two things, okay? Because some of the language in here, what they're doing is they are coming after the men of the Lord, okay? In the most subtle manner ever, right? And when I say subtle, I'm talking about this. Craftier. Craftier, subtle. No, the serpent was more subtle. Right here, they're coming after the men of the Lord. You know why? Well, who else is talking about UFO? Well, we are. So, not too long ago, right? To be a conspiracy theorist, you had to be talking about UFOs. So that's what they've labeled us. Conspiracy theorists, we're talking about UFOs. And, all right, even that Caitlin, whatever that crazy bitch's name was, thing that came out, what they're doing is they're trying to, and this guy, all right, he's kind of setting up a whole, you're a conspiracy theorist type thing. He's saying, those guys over there were dispatched from the military, right? But see, they're all part of the same thing. This guy, whether he might even think that he's doing the right thing. But here's what they're not doing, okay? They don't have us on there telling you what these things are. This is Vlad TV. How many Negroes would the men of the Lord reach if they gave us the platform to come on and say what they gave him the platform for? All right? Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not going to be mentioned. Okay? What these craft are actually for, who they are, and what they're coming back to do. Where are we at? Where's our seat at the table? Okay? That's what Vlad TV is not going to be used for the truth. So, this dude is about to fool a lot of people by saying, the guys over there, my opposition, they're lying to you and I'm telling you the truth. No, the truth is not up there at all. So anyway, let's listen. I got it queued up to there, 607. And he's going to tell a whole bunch of truths, right, about what these devils are actually doing with their, look at the words, look at the language, man-made UFOs. Yeah, they got their own shit. What are they doing with it? They're being aliens abducting. They're being the devil. What else can they do? They're being the devil, and they're trying to make you believe that somehow the angels, right? And I'm talking about the Most High's angels, are somehow the bad guy when they're the bad guy. Listen to this.
And so one of the big risks, and I wrote a paper in 1999, it's up on our website, this site, seriousdisclosure.com or drstephengreer.com. You will see that I wrote in 1999 that if this goes sideways, they're going to take the disclosure of this subject and flip it into a War of the Worlds, Independence Day, the movie thing.
Who's going to flip it? You're flipping it. It is going to be that. They're not going to flip shit. It is going to be that. They're going to trick you with some bullshit and distract you. But that War of the World shit, that's actually going to go down. And nigga, you know it. You're fooling a bunch of jakes right now on Vlad TV. So you are subtle as hell. Okay? If you watch this, okay, he's going to get into his opposition and how he's the good guy. Let's let him get that.
And create global chaos and create a situation to unite the world around some non-existing threat from outer space. Because that was always the plan. You know, Carol Rosin, a member of my team who was the spokesperson for Werner von Braun, the guy who invented the rocket for Adolf Hitler.
The Nazi scientist.
And who then became part of our aerospace industry.
And then what? Then you did what? After he was done with being a Nazi, or did he renounce being a Nazi? No, he just came over here under paperclip.
Back in the 45. He warned on his deathbed that they would hoax an alien threat, and it's all a lie. And that was the plan that they had come up with in the 50s. So we're now...
What's all a lie? The alien invasion? Or the hoax? Okay. The hoax is a lie, but they're going to try to pull it off. Yeah. Okay. But the actual alien invasion, that's not a lie. It's in the scriptures. Okay. So you're in there running some really subtle and multi-layered, this is a multi-layered deceptive effort right here. Okay. He's going to bring up his opposition. Okay. And it's not the men of the Lord. Oh, we're down here fighting. This is some Republican Democrat shit right here, right on Vlad TV about the UFO debate. Okay, which there ain't no UFO debate. We know what the chariots of Israel are. We know what their function is. We know what they're coming back to do. But you're pushing out some bullshit. This is multi-layered fucking deception at its highest level.
50s. So we're now 70 years into this sort of a long-term plan to create a hoax, basically. So I tell people, yeah, there are extraterrestrials, aliens if you want to call them. There are man-made craft. Those are the ones that are a threat. Those are the ones doing abductions, human trafficking, drug trafficking. They're being misused all over the place.
Okay, so that's a whole nother can of worms, what he just said. Right there. He's giving you the truth. That's the ugly truth. What is this devil doing with his man-made, right, so-called UFOs? Well, first of all, he's trying to make the Most High look bad. He's trying to make the men of the Lord look bad, right? Because once it comes out, just like this movie they just put out, right, this Cry Freedom, whatever, that is serving a bunch of purposes. One is to make you get to see him. Two is to demonize this trafficking situation, right? They're really, first, it's them that are doing it. Number two, they're demonizing the shit out of it. And then they're going to say that because we're pro-UFO and we're conspiracy theorists, all of this, they're going to use this on every side that they can. They're going to call these people conspiracy theorists, because that fits into some Q shit, right? Going into trafficking and that whole pizza and that whole thing. They're going to get those people with it. They're going to come after us, right? The men of the Lord. And they're going to flip this on us and say that we believe in, they're going to demonize us with whatever they are concocting with this, right? What is this talking about? What is the UFO? What is the spaceship? What is all of this stuff rooted in? It's all rooted in the Bible. It comes from out of the Bible. And there's a truth about it, and then there's a lie about it. And this dude is involved, whether he knows that or not, whether he's compartmentalized and doesn't know, all right? If he doesn't know, nigga, you ain't listening to none of these videos of the men of the Lord telling you exactly what. So you're not a very good investigator, are you? If you don't know or have taken it and not one time, well, the Hebrew Israelites, they believe that it's God and the angel. You never once said that. Or are you going to come close to it? Because you do know. You've seen the men of, if any investigator investigates UFO, you should have a long time ago had a Negro with a garment on, either a man of the Lord or a Negro, because they both exist, saying, now what does the Bible say again? And how do you break this down? But you're not going to do that. So you're involved in this up to your neck. I'm going to try to let you get to the part about your adversaries.
If you look at what we just did at the National Press Club in Washington, you see that on my YouTube channel. We have a Marine who was on a rescue mission after the big Indonesian earthquake and tsunami in 2009. And Michael Herrera. And his platoon came across one of these gigantic, about 300-foot diameter, man-made UFOs, all floating weapons, and there were crates. And we later learned, he first thought they were drugs. We later learned from other sources those were people in there being put into slavery to be used in experimentation.
That part. Okay? They can use that, whatever he just said, right? And what do we say? What do the men of the Lord say? We say the chariots are coming back, and then you people are going into slavery, right? So, hey, they can use this to demonize us, all right? Hey, this guy's more subtle than he can flip it. You think he can? Did he just say slavery? He didn't say indentured servitude. He didn't say, well, these people are going to learn it. They're going to be able to parlay their trade. He didn't say nothing. He says slavery. You think they can't serve that back on us? What do we believe? Well, we believe that the angels are coming back and restore us back to power, and you guys are going into slavery. Do you know how that's going to... Carry on, devil.
Meaning human beings.
Human. Oh, yeah, children, women, yeah. Specific ones, yeah, to be used. So, I mean, these sort of these rogue operations are a serious problem. And luckily, all that information is being handed over to the authorities at the Pentagon and in the Congress and the White House.
Why is this the first time we're hearing them? And I've heard the notion of these man-made craft being used to traffic and to run drugs. I've heard that out there. Okay, but right now, this shit's fucking going center stage on Vlad TV. Why? And they get to call it this? You think Vlad TV, that these words right here, they know who it's going to? This is not a small matter. Okay? This is huge. Look at this. Look at this. So you have to be very scrutinizing when you're listening to this crafty devil. Now, if you didn't know this truth, this 100% truth, he's going to get you. He's going to get you. If you couldn't break this fool down like we're doing right now, okay, because there's no way that they would allow this, right? Especially under this name with all these people watching. This is serious business. This is serious business. All right? Do you know that Tupac is a distraction? That whole East-West hip hop whole thing that's under Vlad, that is a serious, serious distraction. And they're pushing it. You know what they're pushing just as hard right now as UFOs? They're pushing Tupac Shakur as hard as they're pushing UFOs. Now, not everybody's watching UFOs, but the people that, and even I find myself, oh shit, what did Big Gip say? You know what I'm saying? Like, they throw that shit in your face. You're like, well, let me just, a little guilty pleasure real quick. This is huge. This is like, that's dope out there. Got you coming back. And now they got this guy. If you don't have a rooted foundation in this truth, okay, this guy, he's getting you. He's deceiving you. He's making you believe some shit. Number one, that he's not in on it. Okay? We're the men of the Lord telling you out of the Bible what is about to go on. You're explaining away. Oh, they're not hostile. They are hostile. The angels are hostile. Okay? To certain individuals, to certain people. All right? Angels are hostile to Jake. Okay? There's no respecter of persons.
The White House military office that I deal with. But, whether or not there'll be a satisfactory action or outcome by the leaders and
they're talking about faking. They keep saying they're going to fake the second coming of Christ. What? They're going to do what? Why would you have to fake the second coming of Christ? Because you know he's coming back.
But there'll be a satisfactory action or outcome by the leaders and the political system is to be determined.
I want to go back a little bit more. Hold on.
To be used in experimentation.
Meaning human beings.
Human. Oh, yeah, children, women, yeah. Specific ones, yeah, to be used. So, I mean, these rogue operations are a serious problem. And luckily, all that information is being handed over to the authorities at the Pentagon and in the Congress and the White House.
They're the ones doing
the White House military office.
They're the ones doing
that I deal with. But, whether or not there'll be a satisfactory action or outcome by the leaders and the political system is to be determined. I don't know.
What?
We're doing everything we can. I think everyone listening to the show should write to their senators and their congressmen and to the White House president and say, you need to look into this and the details of it, but also be aware of the false narrative that's going to be presented to you. Because the false narrative is where we run into problems. If the establishment gets convinced that there is this kind of threat, which doesn't exist from outer space,
it does.
They could pivot the whole world into a situation where, but everyone would be in sort of a lockdown situation through the fear of a sort of a hoaxed threat from outer space. And I think that's why we did 2 years ago the Cosmic Hoax, which is a documentary about this. It's on our YouTube channel. Because I think that the big risk here of disclosure is that it is taken and then sort of spun in the wrong direction, a false direction. But you have to ask the question, who would benefit from that? Well, the same profiteers and sociopaths that have been benefiting from the secrecy all along.
And you're one of them, doctor. Okay? You are one of them. You're involved in it. It's good cop, bad cop. You're on the same team. It's red, blue. It's Democrat, Republican. You're on the same fucking team, bud. So stop with the dumb shit.
And I think this is a real problem. Because I think that ultimately, if the people aren't informed, and this is what Eisenhower said, he talked about beware the military-industrial complex. He was an anti-military. He's a 5-star general, a World War II hero.
And a
2-term Republican president. It wasn't Abby Hoffman that said that.
Eisenhower was a Jake. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, I went a little long. Let me see. Two ball. Let's see. Eisenhower. Eisenhower. Was was black. Eisenhower was black. Let's see if Eisenhower was black. Does he look black to you? Right here he does. Yeah, right there he do. Look, Dwight D with his wife, Mamie. I goes to Jake. Okay. All right. Just had to throw that out there. Had to throw that out there. Hey, you'd be surprised at this truth. Okay, anyway. So, you hear this devil just more subtle than anything. I think it was early on where he went into man-made and Slovakia. Let me see.
54, not 64, not 94. So those have begun to be experimented with and developed since
He was telling you when we had a stable UFO.
54.
Right
Lie that we don't know what these are. There are two types of UFOs: man-made, that are electrogravitic anti-gravs. The date that breakthrough happened, where we had a stable anti-grav system, was October 1954. 54, not 64, not 94. So those have begun to be experimented with and developed since the year before I was born in 1955. Now, the extraterrestrial vehicle is very different. Although they move in a similar way, they could be confused.
Okay, so what he's saying, right, he understands that what he just said was the truth. Okay, they are man-made ones, and then there are the extras. So he's giving you an amount of truth.
But there are two things that are being confused as one thing. There are both extraterrestrial and man-made UAPs or UFOs.
Very true.
Now, until recently, the people in the government who were looking into this didn't know that. They were being gaslit or deceived by people going up there and saying, well, gee, we have no idea what these are. And one of the top investigators for the Senate who I'm working with, he'd be the equivalent of a 2 or 3 star general if he was still in the military, went out to the Lockheed Skunk Works, was shown a bunch of old antique jet aircraft. And he knew he was being gaslit and deceived. That's when they called me in. So that was in February of 2022. But they said, well, we got a problem here. We know there's something wrong with this picture. So they now know that was a big lie. The second big lie, which is of great concern, is that we don't know how these operate. Well, that's what they want everyone to believe, because if they were acknowledged, we know how these function. We'd be going, then what are we doing making solar panels and windmills when we have something that would be a box this big that would run this building 24 hours a day, rain or shine, or wind or no wind. So that's what this new documentary, The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It's about. Because it's a whole century of these lost technologies. And we're having the premiere here in LA. The other issue is that these extraterrestrial civilizations are a threat. Let me assure everyone, they view us as a threat. Humans.
Who's us? You Edomites. And you ain't no threat to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. No. Let me assure you.
It is a threat, not them. And if they were a threat, think about it.
They are a threat.
We start shooting these things down with
You shot them down? Maybe the Most High led you to believe that you shot something down.
magnetic systems, scalar, they're called, electromagnetic systems, in the 40s and 50s, 60s. If they were hostile, they're so far advanced with that, they just shut this whole civilization down. Now, it's in the interest of the warmongering, endless war psychopaths and sociopaths to convince the world population that there's a threat from out there. Because that's how you unite the whole world. Unfortunately, poor Ronald Reagan was gaslit with this narrative. If you look at what's in Unacknowledged, our documentary, anyone can see it for free on all these sites now. He had a team of people. I knew the head of that team, who's passed away now, Colonel.
Okay, well, good enough. Anyway, so this guy's an authority on UFOs and not once brought out anything in the Bible saying what they actually are. Okay. Guess what? God is in the UFOs. Jesus is in the UFO. The angels are in the UFO. Now let me say that in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and the angels, the angelic forces, are in those spaceships. Period. Okay? And I think that we've gone into enough. We went into what it means to be saved. Okay? And if you watch the camp video, I went into a lot of it. So I'm just a little, maybe I'm a little tired at this point. So. Anyway, quickly, let's go to Revelation 19. All right, it's no secret. Okay, so Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. Who sat on the horse? Rider on the white horse. What was his name? His name is called the Word. Who is the Word of God? Well, he's the Son of God. All right. His name is Yahushua. You might ignorantly know him as Jesus. Right? He's the commander of this army. Okay. What does he do? He doth judge and what? Make war. What army? The army that makes war. Okay. Armies. There's so many of them. Innumerable angels. Okay. These are the angels. Okay. Make no mistake about it. And this is what they're coming back to do. All right. They're going to fight. All right. What is this? And I saw the beast, NATO and the EU, and the kings of the earth. All right. Vladimir Putin is a king of the earth. Joe Biden is a king of the earth. Angela Merkel is a king of the earth. The Queen of England, her ass is dead, but she was a king of the earth. And their armies, what are they going to do? They were gathered together to do what? To make war against who? The angels and the one you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahushua in the Hebrew. All right, so how come this guy isn't saying anything about that? He's saying nothing about the war in heaven, meaning in the sky. Okay? Ain't said nothing about this, and he knows. Guess what? You all know. The war in heaven. And there was war in heaven. What heaven? Which level of heaven? Then there was war in heaven. Then war broke out in heaven. Right? A war broke out. In heaven. In heaven. In heaven, in heaven, in heaven. In heaven, in heaven. In heaven. In heaven. Right? There it is. Let's see. Let's get a better depiction. here. In heaven, war. And there was a war in heaven. Okay. This is what the war in heaven looks like. The sky. There's war in the sky. That's simple, huh? There was war in the sky. Michael and his angels made war on the dragon. Okay? When you know who that dragon is, all bets are off. Michael and his angels, the dragon. Michael and his angels, the dragon. The blue angels. Okay? Anyway, this guy's saying nothing about that. Are you, Stephen? What about that war in heaven? You're speaking of the angels, the so-called UFOs. They're going to be involved in that war. How you're a UFO researcher and you don't know what is about to take place? You just said that it ain't going to happen. That it's a hoax. Yeah, they're staging a hoax, but what are they basing the hoax off of? What are they using as a model for the hoax? Okay? It's the same thing as when they took down the Twin Towers, right? They were running a parallel drill, right? With NORAD. They had to stand down. Well, that's what they're going to do on the day of the Lord or before, right? They're going to try to do it before so they can control the narrative. So this guy's a clown, but for him to bring this out, right? Oh, you brought this out? That is to completely distract and control the narrative. And here's the thing, it's true. What he said, I remember when that story came out. They probably planted it. But you know what? It's probably all the way true because they are drug trafficking. They are human trafficking. They are doing those things. And they do have these craft. So what are they doing? They are coming out of the closet. Right? Human trafficking, all that stuff has to do with, oh, what's going on in Hollywood and and these parties and these rituals and da 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 da. Really, what they're doing is they're introducing the New World Order. That's what they're doing. They're putting it in your face and trying to control the narrative of what's going on with these craft. Okay, let's read the rest of that real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close. All right. Because it tells you who wins the war. How about that? Oh, come up here. King James just sings to me. So here we are. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought in his angels. I like to put the word blue right there. And his blue angels. And prevailed not. Who prevailed not? The devil and his army. Right? This is the devil, Satan. This is the dragon fought and his blue angels. Okay? This is Michael and his angels. This is the dragon, all right, which is the first name in 4, that great dragon, Babylon the great dragon, that old serpent, the one that was more subtle than any beast of the field, the old one from the Old Testament, that old serpent called what? The devil and Satan. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what did he do? Deceiveth the whole world. Right? For God so loved the world. Did he love the whole world? All right. And there's a picture of the dragon right there. All right, he prevailed not. So who's going to win this? Okay. Well, it tells you. It tells you that these things were shot out of the sky. And how would they not be? Oh, we're going to go heads up with God and we're going to win. No, you're not. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. All of those, not asteroids, what do they call them? The satellites, space stations, whatever you got, or acting like you got in low Earth orbit, will be shot out of the sky. Right? The great dragon was cast out. Out of what? Out of heaven? God kicked the devil out of heaven? No, heaven is the sky. He was cast out of the sky. Remember? And there was war in the sky. That's where the war is being fought. Here's a picture of it. Okay? He was cast out, meaning he's cast out of heaven, which is the sky. He got shot down. And the great dragon was cast out. He was shot down, right? And then it gives you all the names. Great dragon, 1. Old serpent, 2. The devil, 3. And Satan, all the same. Talk about the same abomination, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out. They all got shot the hell out of the sky. Okay? This is what they don't want you to know is coming. All right? They lose. Everything is playing out exactly the way that it says in the scriptures. And now we're at the back end of that thing. This devil is scared. That's what's going on. So they're playing. What you're actually gonna tell us who killed Tupac after all these years, right? Oh, you're gonna tell us that you all that shit about Area 51 and aliens and spaceships and all. You mean it's actually true now? The jig is up, devil. We're at the end. This is what's going to happen next. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Salakim. Excuse me. Okay? He prevailed not. Okay? He didn't have a chance in hell. Very soon he won't have a chance in hell because he's going to be right here on earth. 2nd Ezra 13. Who was gathered together to fight? 19, right? Who was gathered together to fight? Let's go back. This is that war. Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the king and the kings of the earth and their armies. What? Gathered together. Now, jump over here. Okay. Second Ezra 13 and 8. After this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together, right? All the armies and militaries of all the nations of the earth are going to stop fighting each other in World War III. They're going to turn and try to fight against Yahushua and the angels. The one you call Jesus comes back with the angels. And then there's going to be a war. Okay? And after this I beheld, and all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. He's explaining what he saw when the fight went down. Okay? It was a very violent situation, the war. But only I saw that he sent out of they had lasers and shit. One side, had missiles, and the other side had lasers and shit, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire. Wait, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. So this is the outcome of the war in heaven. Only dust and smell of smoke was left of the armies of the world. And this guy ain't saying nothing about it. You talk about military and how he's a 4-star general, and this is all about the military. Okay, what happened on the Nimitz and off the coast and the fighter jet pilot and da 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 da. But you ain't said nothing about the angels or the fight that's coming. And if you don't know about that, you ain't a damn good, a bit good at your job as an investigator. Especially when the men of the Lord are posting videos like this every week, all day, every day. So, you're out of there, devil. You're out of there. This is a ploy, like Tupac. Oh, well, we finally found the guy. They've been holding on to that card. As soon as the Tupac card gets played, you know it's going down. That's the signal, right? 12 and 12. Let's just backtrack real quick. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. Right? Why? How'd you get on Vlad? Suddenly, Greer, like nobody don't know who you are. You talk about Elizondo is the bad guy. Elizondo is not the bad guy. You're all the bad guy. Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. We see you, devil. All right, so with that, sorry for being long-winded, but Spirit was on. Call halal Yahal Bashim El Shabbat Shem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elder that came before us, or before them, Salakia, that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. And shalom and salutations to you sisters, you righteous ones, right? Or striving for righteousness. With that, I'm going to say shalom.